Mic check 1 2. Is that good? Does that work?
Basketball teams in New York, 3 games. He'll run that concerted offense now by choice because he has to. You can't throw downfield or you can't run the ball. What are you supposed to do? It's like, by the way, Spurs, thanks a lot for leaving me so much to work with. Hey, Manny, let's go ahead and start the debate. Can South Carolina's first team becomes its third team? First team, becomes its third team.
Coach wants to make an opening statement and then take questions and raise your hand over the microphone to you.
Well, I thought it was a great day, starting with the alumni game. Those guys had a fantastic time. I think 124 guys registered. I don't know if they all played, but they had a wonderful time. It was great for our crowd. We had a wonderful crowd. How many people we have there?
30.
We're going to say 40. It looked like 40 to me, so it was good. So excited about that. We came out of this thing pretty much injury-free. I think Christian Owens had a high ankle. John Walton and Christine Watts, his longtime girlfriend, had a child last night, Isaiah. I'm really happy for Johnny. He was riding up to Greenville. She had was going into labor, and he started explaining to me the process. And I said, John, I've got a 14-year-old and a 10-year-old. I kind of understand, man. But happy for John. He's a wonderful young man. He's had a great spring, and that's something, an awesome responsibility. So. Again, I'm really pleased with our guys' effort. We've got a critical time starting from here to August 1st for our team. And, by NCAA rules, we can't be with them on the field with the ball. Our guys have got to take ownership in that, and you can make a tremendous amount of improvement in your football team offensively and defensively during this time. And I think we have the leadership and the maturity to handle that. A lot of competition, which certainly helps our situation as far as those things are concerned, and I'll open it up for any questions.
Will, on offense and early on defense, how much would you say you guys were wide open today? Did you hold anything back, or is this what the kind of things we'll see in the fall?
Well, I think we tried to stay away from some of the gap schemes in the run game because that's where you get the guys tangled up a little bit. And I wanted to watch the zone scheme. We threw our normal route concepts that we always do. We didn't put anything different on tape that we didn't show at Florida or Auburn on defense, or what we did at Duke or Florida with rope on offense. So those are things that we do. That's base things we do out of our 4-down package defensively. Base coverages. There were some pressures involved and some overloads, but for the most part, there wasn't a whole lot of scaling back. The biggest thing I wanted to do is, because when you get into a spring game situation, you're commingling different groupings and things, and some guys you don't want to get into a situation of not a guy not knowing what to do or how to do it and getting somebody blown up. So, but we did good on good. I think that's the only way you get better. I think you get a very false opinion of yourselves when you go 1s versus 2s and 3s and 4s and all that. I just don't understand the rationale behind that. I want to go good on good, and that's what we did.
Coach, how do you assess the play of Brandon McElwain, especially getting to see him play with a whole lot of people in the stands?
Well, a lot of command, a lot of maturity. Obviously, he's a really good athlete, but I think he throws the ball extremely well. I thought he made a couple really nice throws today. The field out in the first half over on the away sideline was a really nice throw. I thought the decision-making was very good, and the 1-minute drive was impressive. So I think, again, he's continued to improve, from practice 1 till now, and we've got to make some tremendous strides in the offseason.
Well, I know the competition will go into the fall, but how did you like how Brandon, Connor, and the other QBs looked today?
Well, I thought Connor made a couple really nice third down throws. I thought the decision making to where to take the ball was good, and that's always what you want. Michael had a great drive there in the third quarter. So, we continue to progress, and competition is our best friend as coaches, and we've got a lot of competition. And you throw Lorenzo and Perry into that, talk as well as we move forward. Perry will be full speed June 1st. So, again, that's something that excites me moving forward, to know that that's going to help our football team be better. And I think we've got enough savvy and leadership in that group to really do a good job in the offseason with our team.
Coach, you had an interesting viewpoint all game behind the quarterback. Can you just talk about you being on the field and the coaches being on the sidelines, that kind of thing?
Well, I think it's good from the game day operation to work with the coaches. In 2 other scrimmages, we had the guys that are going to be in the press box were in the press box, so we had full game day operation as far as those things are concerned. I just like, from number one, to see the quarterbacks, how he handles things. His how he's going to handle things, the communication up front on offense, and then to be able to see where defensive players' eyes are. Our eye control has been an issue at times through the spring, but I want to see where their eyes are and what they're seeing. But, biggest thing to me is body language out there and how guys are responding to adversity. And I think it's important to be on the field and be able to see some of those things and address them moving forward.
Coach, what would you say is the biggest concern you have still coming out of spring, or concerns, plural?
Well, I think
and is there
it's-
anything you feel you resolved?
Every team in the country has concerns. So ours are, number one, we need to find a quarterback, and I think we have viable candidates in play. So I think that position is going to take care of itself. I think that we've got enough talent level there to be productive. Playmakers on offense. Debo Samuel is a guy that's really distanced himself as a guy. I thought Brian Edwards, the last 2 practices, including today, has showed some playmaking ability down the field. Hayden Hurst and Casey Crosby, I think, provide us some things. But we need to have more. We don't have much depth as far as playmakers are concerned. I was pleased with the way David Williams has run the ball, and A.J. Turner's done some nice things, but we need to continue to develop more depth at that position. On defense, the secondary is a concern. Just from coverage ability down the field against some of the receivers we're going to be matched up with. And you look at our 2 crossover games from the West, as Mississippi State and A&M, extremely talented on the perimeter at the receiver positions. So we've got to improve in the secondary and create more depth in the secondary. Those would be the playmakers offensively, finding a quarterback, and defensively in the secondary.
Coach, you mentioned wanting to see the zone elements of the running game. How did you kind of assess that performance today?
Well, I thought we got good movement up front. I thought the backs ran well. I thought they found daylight very well. We got in some good tempo situations, getting on the ball defensively. Didn't get aligned correctly a couple of times, which was disappointing. But hey, I thought we ran the ball well, and I think we will run the ball well. We've kept a lot of things the same verbiage-wise for our offensive line, which is important, and I've been very pleased with their transition.
Coach, what were you most pleased with coming out of the spring, and were there any pleasant surprises during the spring?
Well, I think that from a young player standpoint, always difficult to come in mid-year, but it's no question, in my opinion, it's the best thing for the student athlete to come in mid-year. But Brian Edwards, the end of spring, really took some steps forward. Kier Thomas did some really nice things for us. Late in spring, his improvement from 1 to now has been tremendous. Brandon McElwain, obviously, for a young player. Those 3 young players have really done a nice job. Continuing to feel comfortable in the offensive line. I thought Mason Zandy had a very good spring. Corey Helms and Allen Knott inside. The development of DJ Park to continue to come on to be at the right tackle position. He and Blake will continue that competition moving forward. And Donnell Staniel made a lot of improvements as well. I thought up front, we really played blocks much better from practice 1 to now. Abu Lamon's a guy that's, I don't know how much he's played before, not a lot, but he's played blocks well. Kelsey Griffin has done a nice job. Taylor Stallworth has done a nice job. Kobe Smith, for a young player, is another guy that I'd like to recognize that really has made some strides, and he'll help us next year. Ulrich Jones, Quay Lewis had a great spring. So again, just playing blocks up front the way we want to play, I thought we made tremendous strides up front. I feel very good about our linebacking situation. We got to continue to develop depth there, but I think those guys, Bryson Allen Williams has been a guy that can rush the passer and play stack back or off the ball. So he's a guy that gives you a lot as far as the player is concerned.
Will, with your tailbacks, would you prefer to have a top 3 group of guys, or would you go 5, 6, maybe 7 deep in the rotation?
Well, it's hard to, be able to rep that many guys. You like to have a couple guys, and I think David and AJ complement each other well because they're a little bit different in what they're able to do, and we got to continue to bring some people along. Moving Jamari Smith to slot, who he made some nice plays today, I think helps us. But it hurts our running back depth. But we're lacking some playmakers outside, so that's the best move for our football team right now. And I appreciate his unselfishness of making the move, and I thought he did some nice things.
Coach, you touched on it a little bit at the beginning, but just having the alumni, over 100 alumni guys back, and it looked like they really enjoyed it. How important is that to you, especially when you go out and you talk to recruits and you say, hey, look at these guys and how much they feel appreciated?
Well, I think it's really important. It's anyone that's been a part of an organization, you always want to feel welcome to be back, and I want them to feel very welcome to walk in our doors. And certainly, making some networking for our present players to be able to talk to a former player about his experience at Carolina, and after football's over, maybe helping a guy get a job or something. I mean, that's a real thing as far as a guy being able to make some connection here with those guys. But I want those guys involved as much as possible, and we're going to continue to embrace that as much as possible.
You over here, Coach. You mentioned Jamari a little bit, but he had the most receptions of anyone on the team. How would you assess his performance given his switch?
Well, I think, again, he made a smooth transition. He's a very intelligent young man and a guy that I think's got some playmaking ability. He can, especially yards after the catch. We're going to be able to get him some quick game stuff and the bubbles and different quicks that we have off the run game. But again, a guy that can do some nice things for you in space.
Go to Ben. And Dave.
Coach, where do you kind of feel like your defensive backs are in terms of sort of the communication needed to pass guys off in zone coverage and pattern matching?
Well, I think we've made some strides. We've thrown a lot at them, and I think the communication standpoint, they've done a pretty decent job of that. Now, again, we've got to continue to create some duress for them as far as tempo and getting on the ball and snapping the ball. We busted a coverage on 3rd and 4 there with Belton coming across the middle, and you can't cut a guy loose. When you're in pattern matching, you cut a guy loose, it's real bad. Obviously, a huge mistake there that could cost you a game. So we can't afford that. But I thought we've made a lot of strides. We were much better on the perimeter today than we were last Saturday as far as our tackling and playing blocks.
Will, how will you and Brandon handle the baseball question? Does he go right back to the team? Is it up to him?
Yeah, it's something that he expressed to me in the recruiting process, and that's what he wanted to do. And so I don't know if he's playing today, but I hadn't talked to him about that. But I fully expect him to. Knowing him, he'll be in the dugout tonight or this afternoon, and then. And be there again Sunday, and we'll tackle the situation moving forward. But Chad and I are on the same page about what we want to do, and it's worked very well to this point, and it will continue to work.
You talked about the alumni, but you also had the students run out. You had them embracing. How important was it to you to incorporate all those elements for your current players?
Well, again, and our student body is fantastic, and get on campus this Monday and really enjoy that part of it. And being a college coach, that keeps you young. To be a part of that vibrant atmosphere and the student involvement. So I think it's really important to embrace that. We're certainly want to bring the academic and the athletic world together here. I think that's really important. Some college campuses is not looked upon that way, and that's really important to me. We really appreciate them and their support. How about our guest coaches? Can y'all complain about them a little bit?
I coached the Blacks, so I'm feeling pretty good.
Ah, here we go. Were you on the defense or offensive sideline? You were. What happened? What coach? What happened to those sacks that we gave up there?
No,
What are you teaching the offensive linemen? I mean, do we ever teach them to kick set back? Right. I was going to ask some good questions, but I forgot them all. I do that all the time. Yeah, you got your sources, though. Thank y'all so much.
Is that microphone happy? Do we know? This one? Do we know if that microphone's working? Does this microphone work? This one? Yeah, they got 4 mods on, so it should be. You got it.
Steve, you don't forget any key pieces.
Debo Samuel, Javon Charleston, TJ Holloman, Chris Moody. Debo Samuel, my far left. Javon Charleston, close for me. David, first question.
For the overall spring, fellas, just how do you think the offense progressed, and what do you think is the biggest thing you need to do before the fall?
One thing on offense for the wide receivers specifically, I think we just worked on tempo. We got our tempo down. At the beginning of the spring, it was a lot of mistakes and, missed assignments. But towards the end, we picked up with the tempo well. Guys are catching the ball well. Quarterbacks are doing well with the reads. And, I think we just got to continue to get better individually and come together, and everybody does their assignment, we'll be good as a team.
Ask the question again.
What do you think the offense did well over this entire spring session, and where do you think you got to improve before fall?
As a receiver core, we got to improve on catching the ball off our body. I mean, running better routes and mostly getting like DB's hands off while we're running the routes. Coming to spring, day one, you can tell we were still out there learning, and then like a couple weeks on later, we got better.
Javon, Coach Muschamp uses the term command a lot when he's talking about Brandon McElwain. I mean, how does a quarterback instill that? Does he have it coming in, or did it take him a while to build that with you guys?
You could definitely tell. That's a great word to use for him because one thing I noticed from him is coming from baseball practice to football practice, he's very focused in what he's doing, where he's at. So when he gets on the football field, he knows what he expects from guys, and he makes sure he does his part as a quarterback to make his reads, and he's quick with his decision making. So we have trust in him knowing that, okay, all I have to do is do my assignment, get my route right, and he'll get the ball to us. And as far as command, that he just is a great leader as an overall quarterback.
Ben.
Javon, you mentioned a little bit about tempo. Does that make life a little easier for you guys as wide receivers because it's maybe simpler coverages you guys kind of have to work against?
You can say that. We definitely don't switch up formations if we're going really fast. So all we have to do is line back up in the same way. We don't have to really look at the signal too much. So that kind of helps us. And as far as defense, like you said, they can't really change that much. So we're really just reading our cornerback, maybe the safety over top, but nothing really too much where it's going to change. So tempo, yeah, we just really have to line back up and play ball. It's just like backyard.
Will has mentioned a lot of times about the depth at key positions, running back, wide receiver, and how they just don't have any guys. Do you think you guys will have to play it really conservatively in the fall to just to kind of try to space the game out and keep the defense on the field?
I mean, depth-wise, I mean, we know we had a couple people go down at receiver, so I mean, we'll back when the fall comes, we'll have more receivers come. I think we got 4 receivers coming in, so I mean, that's gonna help us as well.
I think it's just next man up mentality. I know a lot of people transferred or either got injured, but they're working on getting back on the field, and we're working on just improving as a unit, improving as individuals. So I know for me, people going down in my position, I know I just had to step up. We're in the SEC for a reason, so we all need to be playing at the high level every day.
Javon, leading receiver today. How nice was it to go out there and have a good performance in front of the crowd?
It was nice. It's just a start, though. I'm trying to put it past me. You know, I like the attention right now, but I definitely have big expectations for myself. And coming out of here today, it was just my first impression. Coach said we're big on first impressions, so I try to make sure my name would be looked at in a good note, and then just keep on improving and play well when it comes down the fall.
Javon, I think you touched on this briefly a moment ago, but obviously multiple wide receivers left the program after last season, transferring out. So do you see this now as sort of your opportunity? Is the door now open for you to make a significant contribution next season?
Yeah, I definitely think whatever opportunity I can get, if I get on the field, I'm going to try to, make a play. That's what Coach says. We need to make plays. That's one of our 3 rules. And, I definitely looked at it as an opportunity, and I wasn't going to let that pass up. But, everybody has opportunity. When Debo's on the field, he has opportunity. So, from the first guy on the depth chart to the last, we all need to make the best of our opportunities.
One more follow-up about Brandon McElwain. How much did he improve from the very first practice you saw him until today?
I mean, you can see, first day, everybody out there learning. Coach jacking up, like, going crazy on everybody. But as time progressed, you can see Brandon keep leading. Coach is still on him, but encouraging him to do better. And we're helping him out at receiver as well.
Yeah, he always had the ability to throw really well. That's one thing I noticed from him. And like you said, the command, he always had a command of the offense, but he got better with his decision-making. He learned to, later in the spring, maybe not to try to squeeze the ball in there all the time, just check it down, throw it out of bounds sometimes, or use his feet because he's good with both his arm and his legs.
Guys, how was Jamari taken to that slot position, and how much does a threat there open things up for other receivers elsewhere on the field?
Jamari came from DB to running back to receiver. You could tell he's an athlete with the ball in his hand. I don't think one guy out there could tackle him in open space. He's just a real athlete, so he's going to help us out there as well.
Yeah, Jamari's overall a great athlete. That's why Coach is moving around all the time, but he's taking it really well. He didn't, fuss and complain. He just got into the slot position and mastered and doing his best to master it and just find his way on the field and make plays.
Question for both of you, but sort of different circumstances. Javon, what did you learn during your redshirt year last year? And Debo, what did you learn as you struggled last year to battle back, to come back from your injury? Because you sat out so many games, played well at the end of the year, but certainly missed a lot of games.
I've learned, even if you're hurt, you got to push, stay on the top of the depth chart. My redshirt year, I was learning from Vero, Nick, Demille Bird, Shaq, all them. So I was taking a lot from them and doing one-on-ones with them.
My redshirt year, I learned a lot. I learned to be patient. That's my biggest thing. Your time's going to come. I just, every day, it's hard to, go from high school to playing in college and, you're not playing. You're on the scout team all the time. But you learn that you're either going to get better or worse every day. So you just got to take the best of your situation and continue to play. And I had a great experience being behind, to seeing just Pharaoh work all the time and how he went about the game. And it really opened my eyes to what it's going to take to be good. And he's just a great overall person and player. And it definitely helped me out being in this situation and just taking it in. I got adjusted to the speed and everything, and it feels natural now.
The coaches cannot work with you with the ball on the field anymore. What is your plan now to get better during the off season?
I mean, as Coach spoke on in the locker room, we're going to have to come out and, like, do 7-on-7s, work with the quarterbacks on our own, now that the coaches can't be out there.
Yeah, we definitely just going to keep working. Wide receiver, we have a group text. We all talk about, what our plans are and everything. So I know we're definitely going to keep working. I know everybody else wants to get better. And, we have a lot to prove this year. So that's what we're going to do, just keep on grinding.
We'll let these guys go.
Thank you, guys. Nice, Coach.
Shade to the national championship. Deshaun starts off with a touchdown throw to run from. Proving that good things can come out of soccer state.
Hey, David, I'm in the soccer team.
I'll withdraw my comment.
All right, we got Chris Moody on my far left, Jake Collin closer to me. Questions for them? And David first.
Well, fellas, Will has pretty much been open that the secondary needs a lot of work. How do you guys think you performed this entire spring, and what do you got to get better on going in the fall?
I think we did pretty good. The second scrimmage, they beat our butt pretty good. I mean, we just got to get consistent, find a couple guys that can play, and keep our spirits up, really. It's going to take a long time, but we got time.
I think you had the pass breakup in the second quarter, whatever. Was there ever a time during the play when the ball was in the air that you thought you wouldn't get your hands on it?
I didn't want to reach with two hands because I thought it was too far, but when I dove out, I figured I was closer, so I should have jumped with two hands.
Chris, just what's it been like, kind of reacclimating to the team with joining back up kind of early in the spring?
It's been pretty easy. All my teammates welcomed me back with open arms. I mean, it was a new coaching style, so I got a late jump on that. But at the end of the day, it's just football. You come in, you learn, you play. And my teammates were real good with just welcoming me back, so it was pretty good.
TJ, Coach Muschamp has mentioned on multiple occasions the experience in the linebacker corps. As a group, a lot of you guys are seniors. So is that the mentality you guys are taking? Hey, it's basically it's now or never for us in order to play well and turn this thing around.
Right, like you said, we're very senior heavy linebacking core, and we just have to bring that experience that we all have out there every day, and try to encourage the guys when we get down or when someone is not picking it up. We just have to bring that leadership into it and just say, hey, this is our last go around. Y'all need to do it for us, and we're going to give you all we have.
Opposing completion percentage was a big problem last year. How are you guys battling that this year? Is that just a new scheme that the coach is installing, or how do you guys plan to address that?
I guess the scheme will take care of that. I mean, we could just go out there and play. I don't really know what the completion percentage was, but we'll see when the season get here.
TJ, you've probably been on the field more than any defensive player this spring, so can you just talk about the strides you've personally seen from this group day in and day out from the beginning of spring to now?
Yeah, the D-line, we all came out, we were all gassed, getting adjusted to the tempo, but the D-line had great strides. Everyone got better every day. No one took any steps backwards, and that was our goal. Everyone just had to just continue to move forward. And if we continue to move forward and get better and buy into the scheme and buy into everything the coaches instill in us, we should be a good defense.
Staying with that for both of you, just how different was the spring and how hard was that to adjust? And do you feel like you're where you need to be, or is that much going ahead as you get ready for fall practice?
It was definitely a lot more install, a lot more information, and it challenged us mentally. The physical part, we took care of that during the spring workouts and winter workouts, but the mental aspect of the game was very challenging for us this year.
TJ, do you feel like any young guys in particular took advantage of getting some extra snaps with Sky out all spring?
Yeah, they definitely did. Sherrod Pittman stepped up a lot. He had a great spring. He comes out there every day with a lot of excitement, a lot of energy, loves to hit. And so if we can get the whole collective group to come out there with that same energy every day, we should be a great team.
Chris, when Coach Muschamp says the secondary is light years away from being good, is the secondary taking that personally and basically just sort of getting together and vowing to show that perhaps they're a lot better than a lot of people out there believe?
Oh, definitely. Anytime anybody says anything about the secondary, you take it personal. So we just got to go out every day, get better, compete hard, because I know they're going to come for us, so it's going to come good.
You want to be prepared for the season no matter what, but the fact that you have 2 SEC games to start the season, does that make it easier to get everyone's attention, especially the young guys, in terms of preparing them during this break?
I definitely believe so. You know, we play in the toughest conference in the country, and starting off back-to-back road games is definitely gets everyone's attention because we would love to come back to Williams-Brice that third game undefeated. So that's what's really on our mind, taking each game one at a time and bringing our fans into Williams-Brice with an undefeated team.
How impressed have you guys been with Brandon at quarterback during these practices as a true freshman to come in and really have some pretty good numbers?
I think he's great, actually. I really like him. He's a good guy. I think if he can learn like to take control and run the offense, I think he'll be the guy. But I really like him at quarterback.
Yeah, he's great. Like Chris said, he just what he has to grow into is being more vocal. As a freshman, leading this offense, just taking control. Just everyone can look to him and just know he's going to make this play, know everything. And the physical tools, all there.
You had over 120 alumni come back and play before you today. What does that mean to the team to have that many former players coming back supporting the program?
It's definitely been this is my first time I've ever seen all those people come back and show support. It just shows that Coach Muschamp is welcoming everyone in, trying to get everyone to buy back into the program, and bringing the older alumni in just shows how this program is about to turn around. We have everyone around us, all the support we need. Now it's just on us to come out and do our jobs.
One's touchdown, one's punt.